Ladies and gentlemen, as you get ready to catch your new episode of Shooting the Lights Out, we'd like to let you know that the Playmakerz Bar and Shooting the Lights Out is sponsored by Fanatics. Get your official license everything at fanatics.com, including LSU National Championship gear, t-shirt, hat, bandana, as well as the UConn Huskies men basketball champions hat, t-shirts, banner, as well at fanatics.com. Shooting Lights Out is also sponsored by Lids. And with Lids.com, you can get the same thing with Lids.com with your LSU Tigers National Championship gear. With the promo code LIDS24, you can get free shipping over orders over $24 in the United States, as well as for those of you who are UConn fans, for the men's side, same thing with Lids.com. Locker Rooms by Lids. Get your championship gear, whether you're an LSU Tiger fan or a UConn fan with either Fanatics or Lids. Now, let's get ready for Shooting Lights Out.
Sound like some Viking music, don't it?
Yeah, gotta get it out the mud, that's the only way to win. Who am I to point the finger like I never ever seen? Been through the ups and downs like the letter N. They don't let you through the door, better kick that again. Cause that's the only way to win. That's the only way to go. Gotta get it out the mud, gotta get it out the flow. Cause that's the only way to go, let's go.
Shooting Lights Out. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing today? April 5th, 2023. You see me here. The Playmaker down there silence here for your brand new episode of Shooting Lights Out. We got to recap college basketball, the women's championship game, the men's championship game. And then we're going to turn our full attention to the NBA as the NBA season is getting ready to wind down. And we got some spots to be clinched and get ready for the play-in and the playoffs. So just how we're going to do it is you catch the opening part of it. Get your championship gear if you're the LSU Tiger fan or you're a UConn Husky fan. Get your championship gear with either Fanatics or Lids. Take advantage of the Lids deal with free shipping over orders over $24 because it's a great deal. Take advantage of that. So with me bringing that up, let's go ahead and jump into it because women's college basketball is over. College basketball period is over for the time being, but we're going to begin with the women's. And we're going to start off with the Final Four. You had the 3 seed LSU taking on a 1 seed Virginia Tech in a very tightly contested game, 79-72. The Tigers of LSU held the Virginia Tech Hokies to 13 points in the fourth quarter. They outscored them 29-13 in the fourth quarter to win by 7. It was a remarkable performance by the Tigers, especially in that fourth quarter. You see here, LSU shot 47% from the field to Virginia Tech's 40%. Both teams shot under 30% from 3, but Virginia Tech shooting 29% from 3 and LSU shooting 23% from 3. It was surprisingly Virginia Tech out-rebounded LSU by 2, 38-36. Nevertheless, Turnover, you can be concerned the difference in this one. Virginia Tech had 18 turnovers to only 7 for LSU. LSU had 11 steals of the 18 turnovers committed by Virginia Tech. It was a game. It was a back and forth fair game, and then defense. I told y'all, LSU likes to play defense, and then the fourth quarter locked the Hokies down, 29-13 in the fourth quarter. Like the scoring off. Matter of fact, they held Virginia Tech to 13 points in 2 quarters, the first quarter and the last quarter. When it's time to play defense, LSU shows up to play defense. Something about the SEC and defense reigns true when it matters. It's football or basketball. SEC team is going to play defense. No matter what sport it is, they're going to play defense. And that's what LSU showed. They needed to show it in the fourth quarter, held the Virginia Tech Hokies to 13 points in the fourth quarter. And they did it twice because they did it in the first quarter as well. So shout out to them. Alexis Morris led the way with 27 points. Angel Reese had her 33rd double-double of the season with 24 points and 12 boards. It was a very group effort by the two stars of them, and they did their thing. And then the nightcap of that week, as we all know, it was number 2 Iowa versus number 1 Caitlin Clark versus Aaliyah Boston. The Hawkeyes versus the defending champs, and we all saw it. The most watched Final Four game of the whole week. And I told y'all that, and it proved to be true. Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes perfectly ended the undefeated streak and purposely, the South Carolina Gamecocks. Caitlin Clark was just spectacular. 41 points. She had 6 boards and 8 assists. She scored more than half of their points to knock off number 1. Aaliyah Boston had probably her worst game of her career. She only had 8 points and 10 boards. Zion Cook, she tried everything to keep him in it with 24 points, but Caitlin Clark was just on another level. And the player of the year proved to be that the player of the year outdoing the best team. So that ended up happening. Which brings us to the championship game that took place on Sunday. Sunday. Oh, what a performance by the LSU Tigers. As you can see the box score, the Lady Tigers were on it. And it was the others of the Tigers that got it done versus the stars of the Tigers. Because let's be honest, let's get this out of the way. The officiating for the game was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. You're telling me Alexis Morris get 2 fouls out of nowhere. Angel Reese got 2 fouls out of nowhere. Those both are LSU stars. And then, Monica Sinano got 2 fouls. Clayton Clark got 2 fouls out of nowhere. And Warnock got 2 fouls out of nowhere. It's like, well, damn. All the stars are on the bench with 2 fouls. That's why I said the others when I first brought it up, the others. Because Jasmine Carson, ladies and gentlemen, 21 points in the first half. She was 5 from 5 from 3, 7 from 7 from the field, including the buzzing-beating 3 before the half. It was ridiculous. Before you knew it, LSU was up 17 at halftime without injuries touching the second quarter, with Alexis Morris also on the bench because he picked up second foul early in the second quarter. It was amazing to watch the bench of LSU come up humongous. Jasmine Carson, I'm giving you your flowers because you put on a first half performance that hasn't been done. I don't think it has ever been done in the women's tournament. And I don't remember the last time somebody in the men's tournament had a performance like that in the first half. It was remarkable. She was unconscious. She did not care. And the thing is, Caitlin Clark and Iowa tried that same type of defense that they did to South Carolina, which was very disrespectful, by the way. And we're going to get to that and all this other stuff. But Jasmine Carson made her pay. 7 from 7 from the field, 5 from 5 from 3. She made Iowa pay for that defense. She made them pay for that defense because, y'all is not going to treat us like y'all did South Carolina. And it paid off tremendously for LSU. That was the first half. And then Alexis Morris came in the second half and went to work. So all 21 of her points was in the second half. 8 from 14 from the field, 1 from 3 from the 3-point range, 9 assists, 21 points to lead the way to the 102-85 win over Iowa and the LSU Tigers. National champions. First time in program history, neither men or women to bring home a basketball championship. And Kim Mulkey, Angel Reese, and the Lady Tigers of LSU have done it. They have brought the first one. We know the LSU Tigers in football, they got a couple national championships, but they never had one in basketball until Kim Mulkey got there along with Angel Reese and the crew. What a spectacular thing it was in Dallas. Angel Reese, 15 points, 10 boards, 5 assists. LaDaza Williams, 20 points to go with 5 boards. It was a total team effort. Caitlin Clark in a losing effort, 30 points, 8 assists. Monica Sonato, 15 points, 13 points, 6 boards before fouling out of the game. Gabriel Marshall, she did not have that shooting performance that she normally has. She only gave you 12 points. Martin only gave you 13 points in a losing effort for Iowa. It was remarkable to see the LSU Tigers do what they do. It was a true blessing. But now we get to what's been talked about. Because a lot of this has been, first of all, let me say this. LSU Iowa NCAA Women's Championship game draws record TV audience. Okay. 9.9 million viewers on ABC and ESPN, meaning they watched it exactly on TV on the station that they were showing it. In total, we talking 12.6 if you including the streaming apps of ESPN Plus. You saying 12.6 million people watch Sunday's national championship game. 9.9 watched it on the regular channel, which is ABC and ESPN2, and the others watched it through streaming. That is a 103% jump from last year when South Carolina defeated UConn, when it averaged 4.85 million on ESPN and ESPN2. The women game got the much needed exposure that they deserved. This is part of the reason why I was covering the women's college basketball, because they don't get enough exposure. And as you can see, they are getting the exposure because that is the record numbers. And the women's tournament was better than the men's tournament for 2 years in a row. I'll say it. Last year, the women's tournament, South Carolina defeating UConn, that tournament was better than the men's tournament last year. What people expect to happen in the men's, it happened in the women's, and the women's was more interesting. This tournament was definitely more interesting than the men, despite you having the fact that you had three new bloods making the Final Four in the men's. This is what, because we got the matchup that we wanted. We got the dominant team in the country in South Carolina against the most recognizable player in the women's game, Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark came out on top. The second dominant team in LSU took to the championship game, and they took out Caitlin Clark. It was amazing to watch. The women is getting they just do, but at the same time, they are getting flack as well. Because as you see here, even though you read the title, Iowa's Caitlin Clark says only LSU should visit the White House, and I totally 100% agree with her, and everybody else do too. Because Mrs. Biden, our first lady, let me press my comment by saying I love where your heart is at. I truly love where your heart is at, Mrs. Biden. I really do, First Lady. I love it. Because you want to recognize Iowa for their part in making history for the women's game of basketball. I understand. Definitely understand. But the visit to the White House are for champions. And LSU are the champions, not Iowa. So for Caitlin Clark to come on SportsCenter and say it's for LSU only to visit, I truly respect her. Not as much more than what she said when I get to the next one, because it does involve her and Angel Reese. But I truly am thankful that Caitlin Clark is doing the right thing here. We should not be able to visit. LSU won. They done it. They came out on top. They're at the top of the mountain. It's their White House to visit, not ours. Especially for the head coach, too. Her name was just escaping me right now, but the head coach said the same thing. She's grateful that the First Lady recognized the accomplishment that Iowa achieved, but it is for Kim Markey and the LSU Tigers to visit the White House, not us. Very thankful for that. And to keep on with Caitlin Clark, who also was named the Wood Smith Player of the Year, and she was already deemed the Player of the Year. She won the Naismith Player of the Year. Now she won the Wooden Award Player of the Year. This thing between her and Angel Reese. Angel Reese followed her run as the Wayne seconds led off in the game as LSU captured their title, winning by 17. And she, you can't see me, you can't see me, to Clayton Clark and said, check that out. That ring is coming. That ring is coming to Baton Rouge, not to Iowa City. Clayton Clark handled it very well. Let me tell you right now, if you wasn't a fan of Caitlin Clark, you are a fan of Caitlin Clark now, of how she handled the thing with Angel Reese, how she handled what our First Lady Jill Biden has said about having both LSU and Iowa. You have I said it in the comments and on social media. I'm gonna say it here. Caitlin Clark's a G in this thing, man. I don't care what y'all say. She a G to me. To me, she a G. Okay, she brings the swagger, she brings the attitude, she brings all that. People remind her of Steph Curry of the women's game. But off the court is where is when you win most of your fans at, your real fans, because she appreciates the honor that the First Lady has said. Cool, but we didn't win it. It's not. We should not be able to show it to the White House when LSU won the whole thing. We honored. We are honored that the First Lady feels that way about us, but that is LSU's. She won a women parity, and she came in. She defended Angel Reese. If I can find it, it's not on here. Okay, and she came to defend Angel Reese because people was throwing flack at Angel Reese because she did this and this to Caitlin Clark personally. And she said, Angel Reese doesn't deserve to be criticized for what she did. She respects the fact that Angel Reese did what she did. Matter of fact, I have the article right here. It says, quote, Iowa guard Caitlin Clark said LSU for Angel Reese doesn't deserve criticism for any actions from Sunday's women's basketball national championship game, and that only the Tigers should visit the White House because that's for LSU. It says Clark appeared on SportsCenter Tuesday after being announced the winner of the Wooden Award and was asked by ESPN Jeremy Shatter about the controversy surrounding Reese making a "you can't see me" gesture and pointing to her ring finger during the closing moments of the national championship game, all of it seemingly directed to Clark. This is what Caitlin Clark said. Quote, I don't think Angel should be criticized at all. I'm just one that competes. She competed. I think everybody knows there was going to be a little trash talk in the entire tournament. It's not just me and Angel. We are all competitors. We all show our emotions in different ways. Angel is tremendous player. I have nothing but respect for her. I love her game. I love the way she rebounds the ball, scores the ball, and is absolutely incredible. I'm a big fan of her, and even the entire LSU team. They played an amazing game. Close quote. That right there is the reason why Caitlin Clark is RB, who might end up being my favorite player going into next season. She understands the game. She understands emotions as a part of it, because guess what? She was dishing it out herself. She gave Haley Van Lith the little part of the "you can't see me" when they played in the Elite Eight and Iowa took them down. She let South Carolina know, hey, y'all down 15. Why are y'all talking to me? She let the big bad girls know, hey, I'm kicking y'all butt. Why are y'all speaking to me? Caitlin Clark brings that swagger to the game, and Angel Reese gave it back to her. And people were up in an uproar that Angel Reese gave it back to her because the game was in hand. It's not sportsmanship, but we know Caitlin Clark can bring emotions to the game as well, and everybody praise her. Let's be real. I love Caitlin Clark defending Angel Reese. I love it because he's saying, if y'all gonna praise me, y'all gonna praise Angel Reese too. It's a national championship game. This is for all the marbles. This to be crowned the top of the women's basketball landscape. Angel Reese team came out on top. Caitlin Clark did. The leader of the Iowa Hawkeyes is Caitlin Clark. The leader of the LSU Tigers is Angel Reese. And by the way, despite her having 15 and 10, what a lot of people looked at as she didn't do nothing, that was Angel Reese's 34th double-double of the season out of 39 games. The most double-double in NCAA history in a single season. Men or women. Put some respect on Angel Reese's name. And as Alexis Moore said in the press game after winning the national championship, she respects Caitlin Clark. She played a tremendous game. But Caitlin Clark got to put some respect on Alexis Morris's name, and she got to put some respect on LSU name, which she did. So all this going at Angel Reese can officially start because the best player in the game, which is Caitlin Clark, said don't criticize her. That's trash talk that happens in this game. Let it happen. Enjoy the show because it was a show and was one of the best tournaments I've watched in quite some time. Thank you, ladies, for a tremendous tournament this year. Y'all showcased y'all brilliance and y'all abilities in this game. Caitlin Clark, you was truly the best player in the women's basketball game. No one can doubt that. I will say this, though, coming into that season, you will be the best player going into that season. But there'll be a Pace Becker that's coming back for a UConn team. And I pray that UConn team that's disappointed that they got ousted in a Sweet 16 by Ohio State. They're going to come out with adventures. We're going to see what Don Staley does with her South Carolina Gamecocks because just about all her seniors are going. Those were the ones they depend on. Angel Reese will be back as well. But LSU is missing some key pieces. So we're going to see when next year gets here. But it was a fun season. It was a great tournament to cover. I am thankful that I got to do my best with the resource that I have at the moment to cover the women's tournament as well as the men's tournament, but I'll get to that after the break. But great job. We continue on with our speaking of the Alexis Morris, LSU Morris, South Carolina's Bill ain't here among groups opting for WNBA draft. LSU Alexis Morris and LaDasia Williamson, as well as South Carolina Zion Cook, Bree Bell, and Letitia M. here have declared for the 2023 WNBA draft. The players announced Tuesday on social media. So LSU going to look a little bit different. South Carolina definitely going to look different. Those were two teams, both on the SEC. Both teams made it to the Final Four. So both teams going to look different. Let's see what Don Staley does to recuperate her team and get back to on top of the mountain. And we'll see how Kim Mulkey recruits, even though she's keeping Angel Reese for another year. And this one we have right here. Congratulations to Daniel, ESPN 937161551. Congratulations to Daniel for winning the Shooting the Lights Out bracket challenge for the women's. Mr. Daniel, whenever you hear this or when you get word of this, send me a message through Facebook or any social media platform that you have, or you can email email us at theplaymakersbar.gmail.com so I can get your information so I can send you your prize. You have won, you won the prize. So as well, Johnny, what's up, Blade? If you can message me as well, so I can send you something for coming in second as well. It was a great tournament. It was an interesting time. As you see, the top four, which includes myself at third, picked South Carolina winning. It's just a matter of what Final Four teams we had in it. I lost two of my Final Four teams. No, I lost two of my Final Four teams. I had UConn. No, I had lost one. I had UConn going to the Final Four, but they got ousted in the Sweet 16, and that would pretty much did me in. Also, that's pretty much what did me in. And I had him in the championship game against South Carolina. So, but if Johnny, Weasel Bell, and Daniel can email me or find me on social media, I truly appreciate it. I can get the information that I need to get from you to send y'all prizes, especially to Daniel, who have won the ultimate prize. So, whatever you get a hold of this, message me so we can get the information that we need so we can send you your prize. And once again, congratulations to the LSU Tigers and especially to Kim Mulkey, the first coach in the NCAA tournament to take two teams to national championship games in the women's game. Congratulations, Kim Mulkey. Congratulations, Angel Reese and the LSU Tigers. You are champions. A break, and we go to the men's side.
Welcome to Ringside Chaos, the professional wrestling discussion segment of the Bear of Texas podcast. The only professional wrestling podcast in the world where pro wrestling is discussed passionately, with confidence, with great knowledge, and most of all, in the most sophisticated way. So brace yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, because chaos is about to be unleashed. Thing with Tony Khan now being in talks to buy WWE, I'm going to be honest with you. I spoke to this with Ricky Litwinkowicz, aka the Master of Mayhem, and he honestly believes that me talking about Tony Khan buying WWE is basically I'm kind of wasting my time because Ricky believes it's never going to happen. Okay, now don't get me wrong, Ricky, I respect what he says. He could very well be correct. But I gotta be honest with you, the fact that Khan is interested in supposedly buying WWE, to me, that's definitely worth talking about. Now, I should mention this. Shout out to Ricky, by the way. And I gotta mention this, that even Jim Cornette already had something to say. And he said, and I quote, "ridiculous to think that could happen," unquote. A wrestling fan that's been super supportive of Brody Lee as a wrestler, and everything that WWE could have done with him, and, everything that he could have shown and, offered for the wrestling business. For me, I wasn't just a fan of Brody Lee himself, like in character. I strongly respected him, as a human being. Like, I had a lot of respect for Jonathan Huber, that's Mr. Brody Lee's real name. So basically, I had a lot of respect for Brody Lee, Luke Harper, and of course, Mr. Jonathan Huber. Particular episode was about World Class Championship Wrestling, and the episode title is WCCW Wrestling's Lone Star Legacy. And because I am the Bear of Texas, and I do hail from the Dallas-Fort Worth area of the state of Texas, World Class Championship Wrestling was basically my territory as far as being a wrestling fan goes. Ladies and gentlemen, Ringside Chaos is available on all streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Shooting the Lights Out. Shout out to my boy Alex Akazal, the Bear Man of Texas. Ringside Chaos, because check it out, especially if you watch WrestleMania this weekend. What a spectacle! I mean, WrestleMania was great. Night 1 was fabulous. Night 2 was good. Then catch the Monday Night Raw afterwards. I'll be catching that once I finish doing this and get caught up on that. But if you want true, authentic wrestling talk, Ringside Chaos is a show for you, so check that out right now. Now that we're back, let's get into the finale of the men's tournament. And we kicked off with the Final Four down in Houston, Texas. We had the surprising FAU Owls taking on the surprising San Diego State Aztecs for a spot in the national championship game. And as you can notice, it was the San Diego State Aztecs to win that one. On a Lamar Hunt buzzer beater after FAU's attempt to seal the game was blocked. Back and forth affair. It was something to behold. And FAU had the opportunities. They really did. They had opportunity. They was up double digits. I think the highest the lead was 14 for FAU, and they didn't put them away. They didn't put them away in the second half when they had a 14-point lead. And San Diego State kept fighting away and calling on what they called on their best on all season, the defense, to chip away, and they finally they got the opportunity that they needed, and they won on a little Martin Butler jumper at the buzzer. FAU shot 44% from the field, as well as San Diego State. FAU shot 40% from three-point range to 50% from San Diego State. San Diego State was 9 for 18. 9 for 18. Turnover was very similar. Rebounding was similar. Assists was similar. Stuff like that. It was very similar. It just that's why the game was back and forth, and you had to wait to the final buzzer to find out who won. Martin for FAU, 26.7 boards. Jonell Davis did not have his best game, 2 for 9 from the field, 0 from 3 from 3-point range, only had 8 points. Lamar Brother, he didn't have a great game. He just had that game winning shot. He only had 9 points, but it was Matt Bradley for San Diego State with 21 points to help bring that charge in for San Diego State to win that game. Congratulations to them. They made their first ever championship game, and who they was going to face? The most dominant team in the tournament, the UConn Huskies. UConn jumped out early on Miami. Miami made a run, but they went right back up with no problem. UConn 72-59. Adama Sadogu, 21 points, 10 boards. Jordan Hawkins, 13 points. UConn is just different, man. It's just different. They held Miami to 32% shooting from the field, 35% from 3, while UConn was 49% from the field and 35% from 3. They just ran you down. They are rebounding Miami 41-32. I rebounded them 28-18 on the defensive rebounding side, 19-10 into assists. It was just they had 5 blocks. Miami never led in the game. It just UConn is just that dominant, and it showed again on Monday. When San Diego State didn't have a chance. They just didn't. UConn, the most dominant team in the land. 76-59. This time you had a full team effort from UConn. Sadohu, 17 points, 10 boards. Hawkins, 16 points. Newton, 19 points, 10 boards. It was a total team. It was a team effort in this regard. Yeah, San Diego State, they just couldn't do it. San Diego State led by 4 points, was the largest, and UConn led as much as 17. As you can see, that's how much they won by. UConn held San Diego State to 32% shooting from the field, 26% from 3, while UConn shot 43% from the field, 35 from 3. I rebounded them by 6 on the board, 40-34. They had a 30-22 advantage on the defensive rebounding, 13-7 advantage in assists, 6 blocks in this one. It was just remarkable. So, the 5th time in program history, the UConn Huskies have won the national championship. But before I get to that, congratulations to ESPN fan 397471161. Name on it. Black Life. Black Life. Congratulations on winning the men's Shooting Lights Out challenge. If you also, as to what I said for the ladies, if you can message me at some point in time, you get your prize. My boy Tyler Ingram came in second, so I would reach out to him to get his information to send him something for coming in second. Very thankful for those who have joined in, who participated in this. It was not easy. It was not an easy tournament, as you can see. I mean, we're talking with Foreman upsetting Virginia to Fairleigh Dickinson taking out Purdue, FAU making a run all the way up to the Final Four. We talking Miami taking out Houston and Texas. I mean, San Diego State taking out Alabama. It was a crazy tournament. The women's was better. Let's get no doubt. The men's were better, but the men's had their moments as well. We're not going to sit here and act like the men's didn't have their moments. Now, if you ain't like the Final Four because you only had like one blue blood, which was UConn, I mean, get over it. It's the NCAA tournament. Anything can happen in this tournament. It's a 1-game tournament. It's not the NBA playoff, but it's a 7-game series, and you have to win 4 games to get past. If the best team don't show up on that particular night, they can happen. Purdue got taken out in the first round. Become the second number 1 seed to lose to a 16 seed. On the 5th year anniversary of Virginia being the first one. And speaking of the Virginia on the 5th year anniversary, they got taken out by Foreman in the first round, a 13 seed. Okay? Creighton made a trip to the Elite Eight for the first time. San Diego State made the Elite Eight and took it out Alabama. FAU to the Final Four. San Diego State to the Final. Miami made their first ever Final Four. They had to go through Houston and Texas to get there. It was like the three teams had an easy road. They had to go through some tough challenges. FAU got past a physical Tennessee team and then got past one of the best performing players in the tournament, and Marquise Noel and Kansas State to get to the Final Four. So this was both tournaments were intriguing. Just the women was more into it. The women's had more of the flair in it than the men, but both tournaments were fabulous. Both tournaments were fabulous. So congratulations to the UConn Huskies for winning it. They have opened up the next season as the favorites. I had that article. Let me give you the odds for that. What was the actual odds for them to repeat? Which no team has repeated since the Florida Gators did it in 2006, 2007. It says here, Caesar Sportsbooks installs UConn as the favorite to win next season's NCAA tournament at 12-1. Kansas is next at 15-1, followed by UCLA and Duke tied at 16-1, and then finish it off by Kentucky at 18-1. So that's one thing. They are already looking at UConn repeating. Purdue Center Zach Edey adds to honors with the Wooden Award as the best player of the year. There's no doubt about that. If you've been watching college basketball throughout the whole season, you knew he was going to win it, and there was nobody else involved. Duke freshman Derek Lively II has said he would enter the NBA draft after one season with the Duke Blue Devils. He's going pro. Projected somewhere in the first round. He made the borderline lottery pick. Borderline lottery pick to me. But we shall see where he goes and how he does in workouts. Wisconsin Trey Wayne says he's returning for a field season. That's a good thing for UConn, for Wisconsin. You get one of your top scorers back. That should help get the ship back right to because when you look at Wisconsin, you think basketball, and they haven't been living up to what they've been doing in past years. Continuing on, the national champion, the UConn Huskies, make plans for the 2024 Maui Invitational. As you can see here, these are the 8 teams that are projected to be in the Maui Invitational. Of course, the defending champion, UConn Huskies, the Colorado Buffaloes, the Dayton Flyers, the Memphis Tigers, North Carolina, Auburn, Iowa State, and Michigan State are the 8 teams slated to be in the Maui Invitation coming next season. So that's going to be fun, especially how they do these matchups. Who does UConn play first? Who does North Carolina play first? And such and such. Who do we get to see Penny Hardaway and Bruce Pearl matchup with Auburn and Memphis? That's going to be something to see. What if it's Penny Hardaway and the Memphis Tigers going against Tom Izzo and the Michigan State Spartans? Just saying. It's a good matchup. I like what I'm seeing here. Very, very intriguing here that we're seeing this, okay? So I'm looking forward to the Maui Invitational next year because I want to see who matches up against who and what coaching matchup do we get. Dan Harvey versus Hubert Davis, UConn North Carolina matchup. Just throwing matchups out there. When they get down to the time, they'll figure it out and get it together, and they'll have it posted and ready for us to talk about. But it's intriguing to think about. It's very intriguing to think about. And shout out to Dayton representing DA10. They got one mid-major in there. I respect that. It's going to see, but you got your Blue Bulls, you got UConn, you got North Carolina, and you got Michigan State up in there. You got to me, who should be a Hall of Fame coach, and Bruce Pearl in there. Okay, you got Penny Hardaway in there. It's gonna be interesting to watch to see. But that's pretty much all I got for the college basketball side for the men. So one more time, congratulations to the UConn Huskies, your 5th national championship in program history. The second time you have won it in I want to say the 4th time you won it in the state of Texas, and the second time you won it in the city of Houston. Dan Hurley and the UConn Huskies put on a tremendous team. A team that, to me, have showed the dominance I have never seen before, lights in the tournament. I have never seen a team dominate the NCAA tournament like UConn did, and there was a 4 seed. They won every game by at least 15 points. It was a truly dominant performance. So congratulations to y'all. Congratulations to Marley Karen, Dan Orlowski, Ray Allen, any UConn alum, celebrate. The boys done it. They brought the championship back to the state of Connecticut. Celebrate it. You deserve it. Congratulations. All right, take a break. When we come back, we're going to finish it off with some NBA conversation. The Playmakerz blog is proudly to announce that it is sponsored by Fanatics. Fanatics, where you can get all your official licensed sports gear, memorabilia, whether it's for the National Football League, the National Basketball Association, Major League Baseball, National Hockey League, or even into the National Soccer League, or even college sports. So rep your team, rep the hardware, get comfortable, because Fanatics is the way to go, where sports fans shop and official license everything. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Swim Lifestyle sponsored by Fanatics, and like us, if you heard the opening one, you can get your Division I Women's Basketball Championship gear at Fanatics for the LSU Tiger. If you're an LSU Tiger fan, as well as for the men's basketball championship. If you're a UConn Husky fan, you can get both gears at fanatics.com. Official license everything. Now that we got that out the way, let's go ahead and let's get into the NBA, because now we are just about there. Somewhere after this weekend, we should be done, and we should know who's participating in the play-in and who have playoff spots. So, but before, let's do a recap from what took place from Friday. Is it Friday already up to today? No, we're going to come back to the last 2 days. So I want to say Monday, we saw the Brooklyn Nets get a needed win over the Utah Jazz. Both teams needed it. We saw the Bulls take down the Memphis Grizzlies. The Atlanta Hawks put a damper on the Dallas Mavericks season. The Bucks handled business against Philly, and the Denver Nuggets, without Nikola Jokic, take down the Golden State Warriors, who cannot seem to win on the road. That needs to change quickly. But what took place yesterday was the Minnesota Timberwolves going into the Barclays Center and giving the Brooklyn Nets a loss. Joel Embiid put the sisters on his back to take down one of their biggest rivals in the Boston Celtics. And did Joel Embiid just end the MVP race with that performance last night? I'll let you know a little later. The Atlanta Hawks got a big win over the Chicago Bulls. The Sacramento Kings, got their 48th win of the season when they went down to Louisiana to take down the New Orleans Pelicans. That win did something for them that I will get to a little bit later. The Los Angeles Lakers got a big win in Salt Lake City. It took them overtime, which could be problematic, but we shall see it tonight. But they got the dub anyway. And Utah is trying to keep their season alive as much as they can, because the Thunder are trying to keep their season as much alive as they can, as they are holding off the Utah Jazz and Dallas Mavericks right now, but they did take an L to the Golden State Warriors. Now, speaking of which, Mike Malone calls out Nuggets after blowout loss to the Rockets. 124-103. To a team that is the worst team in the NBA. That win gave the Houston Rockets their 20th win of the season. They were one of the worst teams in the world. They ain't the worst team. That'd be the Detroit Pistons, who was 16-63. But the worst team in the West is the Houston Rockets, and they beat you by 21. The team that has the best record in the West. So the team that's at the bottom of the West beat the team who was at the top of the West by 21 points. This is what happened. This is exactly what happened. Now, I got to go in here. I got to look at why did this happen. Because if I heard correctly, Jokic came back for this game. And if Jokic did come back from this game, I need to find out what happened. Jokic came back, played 25 minutes. 7 for 13 from the field, over 2 from 3. 14 points, 10 boards, 4 assists. Michael Porter Jr. led the way for the team with 23 points and 7 boards. Jamal Murray only played 9 minutes for whatever reason. That's a concern right there. You only played 9 minutes, and he only gave you 2 points. But Jalen Green for the Houston Rockets dropped 32 points on you. Kevin Porter Jr. dropped 20 on you. Sagone dropped 20 on you. Kevin Martin Jr. dropped 12 on you. Jabari Smith Jr. dropped 16 on you. Easton dropped 11 off the bench. Christopher dropped 10 off the bench. 7 guys from Houston had double-digit scoring. And it's the Denver Nuggets we're talking about here. The Denver Nuggets, the number 1 team in the West, got taken out by the Houston Rockets. This is why Mike Malone's calling y'all out. How y'all lose to the worst team in your own conference? How? Nevertheless, it happened. Moving on. Joel Embiid leads 76ers pass sees as Doc Rivers declared MVP race over. And I knew y'all were going to probably ask, what did he actually do against the Boston Celtics? 52 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists against the second best team in the East. Matter of fact, the second best team in the NBA because they got the second best record in the NBA, by the way. So not only you did against the second best team in the East, it's the second best team in the league. And Joel Embiid put that performance up. Give that man the MVP. I voted for him last year, even though I don't have an actual vote per se. But I'm voting for him again this year. Nikola Jokic is back now winning MVP for a third straight time, and Joel Embiid coming second for a third straight time. Give Joel Embiid the MVP. 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 That is Joel Embiid. He is the MVP of the goddamn National Basketball Association. Most valuable player of the National Basketball Association is Joel Embiid of the Philadelphia 76ers. And moving on. Andrew Wiggins. Don't think it will be long before return. Which is good news for Golden State. If you're a Golden State Warriors fan, you're getting Andrew Wiggins back. The problem is, where is he at mentally? Conditionally, where is he at? What's the stomach going to look like? Because if you're the Warriors, you don't have that many games left before playing starts in the playoffs. So right now, let me find the Warriors schedule real quick so you can see what their last couple of games are. And can he get up to speed quickly enough? So it looks like their next game is not until they play the Kings on the 7th in 2 days, and they finish it off against the Warriors. Against the Trailblazers on the 9th. That's their last games. And they'll either be in the playing spot or they'll be locked up in the 5th or the 6th seed. That's how tight this race is, and I'm gonna show you the standings in a bit. So Andrew Wiggins pretty much gonna play 2 more regular season games, and before you know it, it's gonna be playoff time. He's been gone. He missed 22 games now. He ain't gonna act like he just been gone for a little while, and that was it. He missed 22 games here. He been gone for the team for almost 2.5 months. Almost 2.5 months. Okay, he's been gone for quite a while. So it's gonna be interesting where he's at mentally and conditionally, physically. Okay, because that was a long layoff that he had. Obviously, for personal reasons that he did not want to share with them. He wanted to keep those private, so we respect the man's privacy, even though the media and rumors circling around put this man through a lot more than what he should have been through. But nevertheless, these things happen. So I'm happy that he's back with the team and that he's gonna get on this ride with the team. But man, I gotta know where he's at because that's not gonna be easy to do. It's not gonna be easy to handle. Okay, it's really not. Luka Doncic won't be shut down if the Mavs still make the playoffs. I want y'all to put a pin in that because when I show you the standings, I'm gonna look at their schedule and I'm gonna see if they can do. Matter of fact, let me look at their schedule now. I want to look at Dallas' schedule. Let me look at the Mavericks' schedule now. That way, we can see what's going to happen. Okay, they're not going to shut Luka down while they still have an opportunity. Okay, that's how y'all feel. Okay. Because Because the more of what's been happening keeps happening, y'all might want to shut them down because y'all have not won a game. I don't even know the last time y'all won a game right now because y'all just been losing. Y'all been free falling like a mud since this Kyrie Irving trade, and I mean straight free falling. I never said a team free fall so much like this. I mean, it is y'all just free falling all the way down to when you're not even in the play-in at the moment. I think right now you're in the 11th spot, if I remember correctly. While I look for that, we're gonna continue on. Kings beat Pelicans to clinch first Pacific title since 2003. The surprising season of the Sacramento Kings continue. They beat the Pelicans, as I showed you earlier, but I'm showing you again. 121-103 down in New Orleans. They clinched the Pacific title. They won the division title, which means they will be a top 4 seed. I think they already clinched the 3rd seed at the very latest. It's the 3rd seed, so that's going to be something to behold. Congratulations to Mike Brown, who should be coach of the year. Congratulations to the Sacramento Kings. What a turnaround this has been. Y'all have won 48 games this season. It was a remarkable turnaround for what y'all was last year, the year before, and things like that. It was a great job by Mike Brown. Great job by this team led by Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox. I can't wait to watch this team in the playoffs to see how they fare against whoever they face in the first round. Bulls give themselves an opportunity to still play in berth. They, as you can see here, before they played the Hawks, they played the Memphis Grizzlies. They beat the Memphis Grizzlies 128-107, which helped them out. They lost to the Hawks last night, but my Magic got beat by Donovan Mitchell and the Cleveland Cavaliers, which clinched it for them because officially my Orlando Magic have been eliminated. And with that being said, the Bulls have made the play-in. And speaking of Donovan Mitchell, he went off for another 40 burger on us. That's the 4th straight 40-point game Donovan Mitchell has put in this stretch. And during this stretch, he has gave Cleveland a secure 4th seed. So they will have home court advantage in the playoffs for the first round. Congratulations to Cleveland. Congratulations to Donovan Mitchell. Y'all will have home court advantage in the first round. But it looks like y'all might be facing the Knicks at the very least. Speaking of sins, here we are. Here are the teams that are slated to participate in postseason play. Not playoff play, postseason play, okay? As we already know, the Toronto Raptors and the Chicago Bulls will be in a play-in tournament. Who are they facing in play-in tournament is still to be determined because, as you can see, the Brooklyn Nets, the Miami Heat, and the Atlanta Hawks are still trying to fight it out from 6 to 8. Milwaukee's is already in. They are about a game away from clinching home court advantage throughout the entire playoffs. Boston has clinched the playoff spot. Philly has clinched the playoff spot. They fighting for seeding. Cleveland is fighting for seeding, but they will be the 4th seed at the very latest. New York is stuck at the 5th seed regardless. Ain't enough games for Brooklyn to catch them, so they're gonna be stuck at the 5th seed. I'll take that back. I think there's an outside chance Brooklyn can catch them, but I doubt it. So at the very latest, I'm seeing a first round matchup between Brooklyn and Philly, New York and Cleveland. I think that's my first round matches, and we'll shall see if Miami catches Brooklyn or not. But that's the East. The West, however, not so dividend. Denver, Memphis, Sacramento, and Phoenix are the only ones who clinch spots. That's your 1 through 4 seed right there. Unless something drastic happens with Phoenix and Golden State or the Clippers or the Lakers catch Phoenix slipping, that's 1 through 4 right there. Denver, Memphis, Sacramento, and Phoenix. Golden State on down is where it all gets fun. Golden State is a half a game ahead of both LA teams. A game and a half ahead of the Pelicans for the 5th spot, which is just because the 5th seed is more likely playing Phoenix Suns in the 1st seed. Kevin Durant versus Golden State will be very intriguing, by the way. Nevertheless, Lakers, Clippers trying to keep themselves out of the play-in spot. So, and maybe the 6th seed because you get Sacramento. Everybody wants Sacramento because Sacramento's never been here since 03 or 05, whatever the last time they was in the playoffs. But they never been this high since they never won the Pacific Division since 03. We're talking 2 decades. So people feel like this is going to be an easy first round for them. I doubt it because they're the highest scoring team in the goddamn league. It's the Sacramento Kings. So you're going to be in the shootout unless you can clamp down on De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk. Slow them down. It's not going to be an easy task. It's not going to be an easy task. But as you see here, you see the Clippers currently has a 6th spot. They beat the Lakers 10 straight. And so it means we know who holds the tiebreaker. Lakers at 7, Pelicans at 8, Minnesota at 9, Oklahoma City at 10. On the outside, trying to fight their way back in, it's the Dallas Mavericks at 11 and the Utah Jazz at 12. Speaking of the Dallas Mavericks, they have 3 games left. Tonight, they have a battle with Sacramento. On the 7th, they have a date with the Chicago Bulls, and they finish out the season against the San Antonio Spurs. Just throwing that out there. The Jazz have to contend with. They have to contend with the Oklahoma City Thunder tomorrow. The Denver Nuggets on the 8th, and the Los Angeles Lakers on the 9th. I don't know. I just don't know. But and like everything's still up for grabs, so the West is gonna be the Wild Wild West continuing on because it's nothing is guaranteed. Okay, nothing is guaranteed. Speaking of which, tonight's our key matchup: New York Knicks versus the Indiana Pacers. The Toronto Raptors is in TD Garden to take on the Boston Celtics, and the Chicago Bulls take the trip to Madison, Wisconsin to face off against the top team in all of the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks. Continuing on, you have the Memphis Grizzlies down in the Big Easy to take on the New Orleans Pelicans. As I mentioned just a few minutes ago, the Sacramento Kings in the city, a Big D to take on the Dallas Mavericks, but the game that everybody will be tuned into tonight, the battle for LA, the last and final part of this season. Clippers have won 10 in a row to the Lakers, looking to make it 11. As LeBron James and Anthony Davis are trying to finally end this horrific streak of losing to the Clippers of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Can they do it tonight with this new look Lakers? This is the first time both teams face each other since the trade. So this is a new look Lakers team, and this is the first time they get to see Russell Westbrook as a Clipper. This is going to be a game to watch. ESPN, 10 p.m. after Bulls and Bucks. That's tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow, TNT has your doubleheader. Miami is at Philly to begin it off. You have OKC at the Jazz, but that's going to be a good one. But your doubleheader, your second of your doubleheader on TNT is the Denver Nuggets against the Phoenix Suns. This is the first time Denver will be meeting the Phoenix Suns with Kevin Durant on the team. So that's going to be something to behold and to watch as well. That's tomorrow. And then we get to Friday. We're going to kick it off with the 76ers at the Atlanta Hawks. Toronto Raptors with a second day at TD Garden with the Boston Celtics. The Memphis Grizzlies on NBA TV against the Milwaukee Bucks. New York Knicks against the New Orleans Pelicans. Chicago Bulls against the Dallas Mavericks. Warriors and Kings meet in Sacramento. And your second part of your doubleheader on NBA TV is Suns and Lakers at Crypto.com Arena. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. It is the final stretch of the regular season. Because after this weekend, Easter weekend that is, it's play-in time and playoff time. That's all I got for you today. Thank you for tuning in. I'm the Playmaker out here in Jacksonville, Florida. I'll catch y'all next week for Shooting Lights Out.
Good. You've done great. But you can't stop here. You can't stop now. You gotta keep going. Through all your trials and your tribulations, you gotta keep pushing. Now, finish your canvas.
Yeah, gotta get it out the mud, that's the only way to win. Who am I to point the finger like I never ever seen? Been through the ups and downs. only way to go. Gotta get it out the mud. Gotta get it out the flow. Cause that's the only way to go. Let's go.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you want to follow the podcast, you can follow it on all streaming platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and a whole lot more. This has been Shooting the Lights Out.
Masterpiece.